Right on. Welcome back to the Fantasy Dark Horse here in Ventura, California. With a beautiful day here on the West Coast. Just wrapped up Margaret River, which was awesome. Pretty good little contest to watch. For everybody that tuned in, I'm sure you're entertained. Starting off at the box and all that stuff. I love that place. You get the
North Point, rather. North Point. It wasn't the box. It was North Point.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. But anyways, entertaining nonetheless. Yeah. So just to wrap up that last one, the top dark horses for the event were Jack Freestone, who was like what, $4 million or less or so.
I'm not sure how much he was, but
cheap.
He made it the farthest for your buck.
For sure.
And who would you say?
Well, it's $4 million now.
He's $4 million now.
So he was
my
less,
gosh.
for sure.
So yeah, definitely the best dark horse was Freestone, without a doubt.
And then Philippe bringing it in second, right behind him.
Philippe.
Somebody you wouldn't necessarily think was going to go that far, go to semis. I didn't, at least.
Absolutely. I think everybody, especially if you live in the United States or Australia, you're thinking Philippe is an air guy. He's going to do really good at snapper rocks, and he's probably going to bomb at Margaret's. And that didn't happen.
Right. Well, like Gabe got knocked out early. So, I mean, just kind of that similar style where they're kind of looking to throw up a Hail Mary at times. Which, is their safety valve a lot of times, It's like they're behind in the heat. They could go really big, vertical.
Oh, my gosh. Don't get me back on that 10.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Don't get me back on that 10 of Italos. I don't even want to go. I don't want to do a tangent about how you should never get a 10
he paid
at
the
a
price,
point break.
though. Look, he's out. He paid the price.
Yeah, but you can't say he directly paid the price. Sorry, folks. We just went on a tangent about how you should never, ever, ever get a 10 for doing one freaking air on a point break. Ever. Because if that's the case, set up a freaking wave pool. Just set up a wave pool, you don't need to travel anywhere. You could just set up a wave pool in the back of someone's parking lot, and just have someone go for the best air ever and score to 10. If that's what you really want to bring this tour down to. Okay. Back to the dark horses. So
right. That was great. I didn't have Jack. I really wish I did. I think I did have him in an alternate spot just in case something were to happen. I would have got super lucky, but no, I didn't have him.
Me neither.
I didn't have Kolohe. I really didn't think Kolohe was going to be going that far either. But I did have Connor, who was great. It's great to have him go.
I had Jeremy Flores, who probably did.
Jeremy, oh my gosh,
better than most people expected.
Yeah.
So for me, my own personal dark horse was Jeremy Flores, because I didn't expect him to get even beyond round 3, to be honest with you. I think my guy who let me down the most, Mick Fanning let everybody Mick Fanning let everybody down. But Ezekiel Lau was probably my other second downfall. But let's get to Mick Fanning really quick. I mean, because honestly, you almost have to keep him if you're playing Fantasy Surfer. At his value, he's I think $4.5 million now. So what you're paying for to the risk of what he could accomplish is so great. You almost have to hold on to him. So if you're not holding on to him, you're just kind of really lucky, I think, at this point. I think the past 2 events, he's really been a victim of either consistency or wave choice. And it has nothing to do. Look at this sailboat coming by. Hey, howdy. Good.
Hi, Stacy.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, we're here in Ventura, but going on with Mick, you almost have to keep him. He's a past Bells winner. He's a 3-time world champion. It's hard to let that guy go.
Yeah, you definitely have to roll with that. I'll take a champion for $4.5 million any day.
So does that kind of cover our dark horses for?
I think it does.
For last year.
Yeah. So boom, going into Bells.
Or for rather last contest.
Last contest. Yeah, but going into Bells. I haven't really seen anything on the report. The contest is tomorrow. So get your team locked in. You might only be listening to this for entertainment value, since the contest is going to be firing up if you don't handle it today.
Yeah, and remember, Australia is like a day ahead for us on the West Coast, basically.
Right.
Yeah, basically,
Right.
for all intents and purposes.
I
And
need to enter for Bells, actually.
yeah, me too. Recently, you and I kind of joined up with another surf podcast, which, if you haven't checked it out, it's called Surf Splendor. I'm not sure what their YouTube site is, but I know their clubhouse is called Surf Splendor on Fantasy Surfer, and I was lucky enough to win the women's in the first event,
Yeah.
which I'm kind of stoked about. But Lakey let me down.
Yeah, she did come up short.
She came up short after getting to the finals in the first event. She came up short. Didn't get me the win in the second event, but there's no way I'm going to drop her.
No.
This next event.
Yeah, you just roll.
I think
that's how I do the women's side. Is I pick my girls that I believe in their skills, and I just roll with it. I'm like, let's do this for the season.
But I just wanted to give a shout out to that clubhouse, because both of us joined, and they do have a good podcast that I've watched on YouTube, and they have a lot more insight than I think a lot more knowledge than probably you and I do. We're kind of just bystanders. Those guys seem like they're probably embedded in the sport a lot more than us. So this is just two Californians.
Statistical value. We're just kicking it over here.
We're just kicking it. So let's get into the next event.
And yeah, why don't we?
Yeah.
How did your men's team do for this last one?
Oh man, honestly, I only scored like a 750 something. I didn't even.
Right, but that's still a solid score. In this clubhouse, it seems that there's a lot of people that know what they're doing. So it's really competitive. A 750 is not a bad score. It beat me. I put up like a 733 or 737.
Man, I think if you're not putting up 800s plus in most of your events, then anything below that is going to be kind of scary to hold on to. Like you're hoping a 750 is like your bottom score.
Your lowest.
Yeah,
right?
in my opinion.
I have 2 throwaways this season. My first, I don't even want to talk about snapper. We won't even go there. I put up a pure throwaway. Like, even if it counted, it would be a throwaway.
Mine too. Mine too.
Anyways, so on to Bells Beach. And do we know anything about the incoming swell?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I mean, this is so quick. Like, in between each contest, we're a day. We're doing basically a day between.
It seems like there's been a lot of swell down in Australia right now anyways.
It does.
So hopefully that transition is a good surf. And we'll just go ahead and pick these, since they're going to surf the best conditions anyway, you just kind of figure that they're going to have at least, head high plus waves some of the contests.
Let's hope.
So at least one day everybody should be able to unleash.
That would be quite fantastic if we showed up and it was just going off firing like no other before. Like you have a Howard Cosell coming down there and you're battling off with Mick Fanning and Kelly Slater like it was never seen before, like in the old days. Okay, so who's your team? Come on, tell me.
My team?
Yeah.
It's not finalized. I'm not going to reveal the goods. No, just kidding. But I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. I added Jack and I added John. I didn't have John before, so he looks unbelievable, right? I mean, he's surfing.
How can you not have John?
He's surfing like another level ahead of everybody. So if you can squeeze him on, I'm sure everybody's going to have him. So I'd rather have the guy that's potentially going to win the contest and cancel out against somebody else that for sure has that guy.
No, that's
true. You kind of have to have him,
No, I mean, it's true. I mean, it's
because you're really hoping that he does bad somehow if you don't have him at this point.
Yeah, and I think he's so levels beyond everybody else right now that
he looked amazing at Margaret's. So at Bell's, he's going to have the same type of canvas.
I agree. I think you have to pick him up, even though everybody else in Fantasy Surfer is going to have him. And I think that brings up a good point is a lot of times the favorites you're picking, you've kind of got to look at the percentage of people who are owning that and whether it's going to be just a canceling out factor or whether it's going to maybe gain you some leverage. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, even though Adriano De Souza only got to the quarters last event, he was only owned by 18% of Fantasy Surfers. So had he gotten into the semis or even the finals, that guy was going to gain you major.
I was really hoping he was going to make it to the final because I was like behind a lot. And if he would have went through and won it, it would have brought me close. I don't think I would have got it still, but like it would have gained me a lot of points on leader in our clubhouse.
Same with Jeremy Flores, and actually, even though you have to consider Jordy Smith a favorite in that last event, he was 11 million, so you almost had to expect him to get to the finals, but he was only owned by 20% of the Fantasy Surfers. Again, if he had won, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot better for those, those lower percentage people who owned him versus some of the major heavy hitters like John Florence, who I'm sure was owned by a majority of the people.
Word to that.
So you picked up?
So I picked up John and I picked up Jack, two people that I didn't have last contest. I also made room for Mick. You can't. I tried to not have him for last event, but
for Mick?
Yeah. Well, because I had Mick and Parco, and they both did nothing for me last event.
Right.
Which killed me.
Oof.
Parco lost to Jeremy. So that would have ruined Jeremy's dark horse run if Parco would have just did what he was supposed to do instead of.
What do you think about Parco here?
He didn't catch any waves in that heat, like none. He got like 2 waves.
What's his value now? What's Parco's value? Is that readily available? Because that's. I mean,
he's still pretty expensive, dude.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 8 million.
Oh my god!
And he's gotten his ass handed to him two events in a row, so I don't understand that one. He's the same price as Philippe, and Philippe did well in both these last 2 contests.
Wow. So that's kind of.
He definitely outproduced Joel, and he's the same.
And I think Kyle Belly beat Parker last year, right?
Right. Ooh, that's one that I want to try and squeeze on my team somehow. Kyle, I think he's a sneaky one. I like the sneaky ones.
Okay, so who did I pick up? Well, I picked up. You know what? I dropped Jordy because I didn't gain any value with him, and he didn't go as far as he should have. And I picked up Jordy because I lost value with Mick. Because I think Mick went from 5 to 4.5 million. I was able to pick up John Florence, and I think you almost have to do that at this point. One thing I do want to talk about is both you and I, we use WSL Bracket. Always want to give a shout out to that website, WSLbracket.com, and we run heats and we put them through all different kinds of tests to see how people line up and so forth and so on. And both you and I have done a bunch of heat draws, and we see Adriano meeting up with Mick a lot.
Often.
And the other one is Mick and Kelly.
Right.
Matching up in round 3 a lot.
Yep.
So
I'll still take Mr. Consistency, who's been inconsistent for 2 events. So I'll I think I'm gonna play the other side of the coin where he's eventually gonna turn on. You know?
Yeah, and like I said, Banning's just barely lost some of his heats.
Right. So he's still surfing well. He just has had the bitter end of the stick lately.
And Adriano's like 8 million versus Banning's 4.5 million.
Right. But if you're stoked like I am, I got Adriano at like 7.25 or something.
Yeah, you have to keep him, even if he loses in round 3, right?
Yeah, I feel like I think it's worth it, especially if he's only owned at 18%. And his percentage value is so much that if he does well, you're getting bonus points on everybody instantly. Get to the quarters or better, and
I agree with that. Sorry about the
just
skateboard.
Stacking. I know. Skateboards are flying.
I just freaking made massive noise on the live stream because of my skateboard.
So
I agree with you. I agree.
Adriano.
I agree with you. I have to keep Adriano because I have him a million more than anybody could get him right now.
You know,
and he does good at bells. I think didn't he? Well, he might have won bells in his pro junior. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, I think Kyle has a decent
And actually,
making it at least past the third. Bailey, I think so. Let's look at his first round heat. He has.
He's kind of. He didn't kind of get you as far as you wanted him to in his last event, though.
He did pretty good. He's 5 million.
How far do you know how far he got? In
I think he made it past the third.
Okay.
Let me check it.
So again, we're here just in Ventura. I'm throwing some squid over the side of the boat. Tide's not doing really too good right now. I think we're on a dropping tide.
Yep, tide's still dropping out.
Sun's kind of directly at us. So if there's some fish here, they're going to be like directly under the boat or on the other side where the shadows are better. But I'm going to try to fish while you're searching for that. So who do you think's going to win the event? Let's just say that. Who do you think's going to win, Bells?
John.
Absolutely.
She's just on fire. I don't know. Okay, so Kaio did get knocked out in the third against Seabass.
Oh, wow.
He lost by a point.
Okay.
15-3-4 to 14-1-6.
Yeah, another wave that Seabass could probably do pretty good at.
Yeah, I dropped him, you know. I just needed to make room. I picked up Florence, and so it was really hard to squeeze anybody else that I believe in on my team. So I dropped Seabass, who was 7-2-5, to pick up Mick at 4 million.
Yeah.
Which gave me room to pick up Freestone, and I think I have Jeremy Flores.
Okay. I think I still pretty much kept most of my team. I still have Ezekiel Lau, just because I think Ezekiel Lau is, I don't think there's many waves that guy's going to do super great at. But Margaret should have been one of them. But Bells definitely should be one of those. Bells is a place that you have plenty of time to wind up. And speaking of that, I think the goofy footers should bounce back here. I think Gabriel Medina, I think Owen, I think Nat Young. I think all those guys could do really good at Bells.
So back to what I was talking about with Kaio, Bailey. His first round is against Adriano and Joan Deroux. So whatever, you give the tip of the hat to Adriano on that one.
Yeah. Do you want to just do a quick run through?
This is one that I've already done.
Okay.
I'm just skimming through to look where Bailey runs through.
Perfect. Okay.
And in round 2, he runs into Jadson Andre, which I think he should lace him up. Against Jadson. Jadson has not done well at these type of breaks.
I agree.
Either Margaret's or here at Bells. So then he gets through the third, and then he comes up against Slater, which this isn't really a great way for Slater. I mean, obviously he's won the bell plenty of times. He's won the bell. Well, like 3-4 times at least, a bunch of times, right?
Yeah, it's hard to go against.
But man, I haven't seen it in him lately.
No, but you know what? I've always got to give Slater like plus 2 points for competition savvy, for just knowing, and maybe a plus 2 for wave knowledge.
Right. But he got knocked out early last event, right?
Yeah.
He got knocked out.
I know. Now's his time.
He got knocked out last year at this event too.
Slater gets to quarterfinals.
He got knocked out last year in the third round.
To who?
I have to look that up.
Okay, no, don't worry about it. Let's do it. Let's go on with your WSL pick, your bracket pick.
You want to go through the bracket a little more?
Yeah.
You want to start in the third round, or
let's start in the third.
All right. So in the third round, Heat 1, I have Gabe and Jack Freestone.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I think Jack should make that Heat. He's been surfing well.
There's no Brazilian that's going to agree with you there, but
well, too bad. Okay. Then Heat 2, we have Perez, Kerr, and damn it, I want Kerr to win, but
probably Perez.
It's probably Perez. I don't know why.
Yeah, you know how sometimes like you're going through a draw and you have the wishful thinking pick, and the statistics say that it'll probably be this way.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
I
Perez.
think it's going to be Perez. So then we have Owen Wright and Igarashi. So Owen.
Sorry,
Slater, Bailey. You can take Slater if you want.
I'm going to take Slater on that one.
Don't call me during the pod. Wilson and Zeitz.
Damn.
That's
dude,
a nasty one.
That's a hard one. I want to go Wilson, but I've been wanting to go Wilson for the past freaking 2 events.
Yeah.
And I've expected him to win those past 2 events.
He's got a mental block or
What
something.
the hell's going on there? I'm going to pick Wilson, though.
Okay, I have him picked as well. Then we have John and Ezekiel.
John.
Kalohe and Govea.
I'm going to take Kalohes, dude. The guy's looking like he's on... Did you see him at Bell's pick those freaking 2 barrels? Like, holy shit, man.
I did not. I missed that.
Oh my god. It was like the wave gods just offered him up the best waves of the entire competition. But he also surfed it perfect, so...
Right.
I gotta give it to Kalohe.
Nice.
Oh, I almost had a fish on.
Then we got Philippe and Connor. Round Heat 8. They both did really well last event. They both did really well last year. So
I just like Connor better in that type of
I like
wave.
Connor. I think he's got a better style. But it's going to come down to waves. Whoever gets the waves. And then we got Adriano and Mick. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
So
I'm going to pick Mick.
yeah, I have Mick picked already. Mick picked.
Which is crucial. Like that kind of sucks for me because you know you're kind of holding on to an 8-point-something million guy at this point that
might get knocked
lose
out
in round 3.
Yeah,
It sucks. I mean, that's so hard to like want to drop some guy, especially when the upcoming contests he could do really well at.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I have to hold on to him.
Yeah. Well, and anything can happen too. Like say somebody else wins their heat. You know what I mean? Like some
That
other
could
underdog,
happen.
and once an underdog wins a heat, it shifts the bracket.
It does.
So depending on how low of a guy or how high of a guy gets knocked out, it's gonna shift the whole.
I don't have Kelly, so I can
drop.
only hope it's Kelly Mick in the 3rd and Mick wins.
Yes, Kelly Mick in the 3rd would be optimum, and Mick going forward. Sorry, Kelly.
Sorry, Kelly.
Yep. I mostly don't have Kelly because everybody's gonna have Kelly because it's Kelly.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of faded him because for that reason. And I think my trade-off was Adriano. I was like, you know what? For the pure numbers, because the ownership percentage, Adriano has a super low percentage,
It's true,
and Kelly
but
has a super
what if
high.
Adriano loses in round 3 and Kelly freaking goes on and they're at like the same level of price? Oh my god, that would be like the hard. Honestly, that's going to be the hardest choice for me right now.
Yeah.
That will be in the next day. That's going to be the hardest choice. Do I drop Adriano and pick up Kelly? If I can afford it. I think Kelly's more expensive.
I might drop Nick and pick up Kyle.
Fish on.
If I'm feeling ballsy.
Oh, look, we have Biko join the stream. Biko.
Don't skateboard me.
Go inside. Go inside. Come on, you're blocking the camera. Don't knock over the
Watch
stuff.
out, Biko. Inside. Inside.
Go inside. Fish on. Fish on. See? That's a croaker. Okay, go on. Continuing. So, like I said, that's going to be hard for me. You know, I have Adriano for $1 million more than I got him. He's probably could do well at J-Bay. He could really do well anywhere.
Right.
Mick, he's just come back and he's kind of not lived up to Mick potential. So I'm holding on to Adriano, I think. Word. Okay, next. Biko, you're...
Wilkinson, Stu Kennedy. That's a shoe-in for Wilco.
I think Wilco.
Yeah, Wilco should dominate that heat.
I would think so.
And then we got Parco and Ace.
Shit. If it's really good for backsiders that day, Ace is pretty awesome, but you almost got to go with Parco. Gotta think Parco's got to bounce back.
I know. Come on, Parco.
Parco did good at Snapper, right?
Yeah, he did good at Snapper.
So he's going to bounce back.
And then we got Jordy and Jeremy.
Jordy.
Yes.
Damn. Even though Jeremy surprised me last event, I still I got
surfing well.
I got to pick Jordy. Jordy's going to come through sometime this year.
Jordy is a high percentage pick there for sure.
Absolutely.
All right then, that gets us to the fourth round where we have Freestone, Perez, and Wright.
Freestone, Perez, and Owen Wright. Oof. Again, it's gonna. You know what? Out of all those three, I think Owen's going to be your most competitive, smart guy.
Right. And I put Jackie for taking second in that heat.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Let's see.
I'm getting nibbles as we speak.
Getting hit on. Then we got Slater, Wilson, Florence.
I go JJF.
Yep. Nobody's on his level right now.
Nobody's on his level.
We got Kolohe.
Oh, swing and a miss.
Philippe and Mick.
Kolohe, Philippe, and Mick. Going Fanning. Come on, Fanning.
I know, Fanning. Come on, buddy. Who do you think takes second in that one? Kolohe?
Kolohe.
Or Philippe?
Kolohe.
Kolohe.
He looked too good last event. I think Kolohe's honestly probably most improved and closest to winning a world title out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Like I would not have thought of that.
He's pretty refined right now.
I would not have thought of that at the end of last year, but after these last few contests, I'm like, wow, that guy is picking great waves, and he's actually hitting everything.
Yeah. Yeah, his consistency's gone up a lot.
His consistency's gone up. I would honestly put him like most likely to overtake JJF if JJF got, hit by a longboard at Haliva and knocked out of the remaining events. That would be my pick. Would be cool.
So then we have Wilco, Ace, and Jordy.
Wilco, Ace, and Jordy. I still got to go Jordy. It's my gut. I mean, Wilco could tear it up.
Yeah.
It's backside day. And Ace, too. Ace, great. That guy's a machine.
I don't think he's going to compete with those other two.
I don't think he's going to compete with, Okay.
Sorry, Ace.
Sorry, Ace.
I love you, dude, but Wilco, everybody loves Wilco, and everybody loves Jordy.
And let me just pause on that Ace thing, because eventually we're going to have to do a whole podcast on how you navigate to the middle. And what I mean by that is Ace has lived in the middle. Like he is a smart competitor, but as far as WSL standards, there are guys that manage to get their rankings to the middle and they survive in the middle. But that's for another time. Let's move on.
Ready, right?
Okay.
Who do you think takes second? Well, I kind of picked Wilco winning that heat, and then Jordy getting second.
Okay, I'll let you pick that. I mean, that's a toss-up for me too, I think.
Who do you think gets second out of that Slater, Wilson, Florence heat?
Wilson.
Wilson?
Yeah.
Over Slats?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, well that gives us the 5th round of Jack Freestone and Kelly Slater.
Okay.
Julian Wilson, Michelle Perez.
Okay.
Kolohe Andino and Ace.
Alright.
And Jordy Smith and Toledo.
Wow. Okay, so let's tell me the first one again.
Freestone and Slater.
I guess I gotta go with Freestone.
Go with the young buck.
One with the young gun.
The young guns. Wilson Perez.
Gotta go with Wilson. Woo! That might be wishful thinking.
That's wishful thinking, I think.
I mean, it could be wishful thinking. I think that's a 50-50.
The thing is, he's got all the talent in the world, and everybody knows it. It's just a matter of putting it together, son.
You know what? I honestly just don't think Wilson has shown you what he's capable of this year. Yeah.
Dude, he's got mad skill. But I feel like he's gone downhill ever since they didn't give him buku points for doing that freaking that air freaking body burial.
Maybe.
You remember that one he did in Portugal or wherever it was?
Maybe.
That thing was insane, and he got a 7. He got something crazy, stupid. What? Have you ever even seen that before? Maybe that's why.
Okay.
Like Chinese or something.
So who are you picking? I'll let you pick. It's your
I don't know.
It's your round.
I could go with Julian. I like Julian a lot, man. He just always lets me down.
Julian's on my team. I got to go with my wishful thinking.
All right, we'll go with that. So we're hoping and praying. And then we got Kolohe and Ace. Give me Kolohe.
Kolohe.
And Jordy Toledo. Jordy. Gives us a quarters of Owen Wright and Jack Freestone.
Wow.
JJF and Wilson. We'll just go ahead and check John now. Fanning and Dino.
Okay.
That's going to be nasty. That'll be a good one, huh?
Yeah. And who's last?
Come on, Mick. And Wilkinson and Jordy.
Jeez. So out of those, I don't have Wilco. I don't have Jordy. I don't have Kolohe. I have Julian. I have Owen. And I have Fanning.
I have Owen, Jack, John, Fanning. That's it. So 4.
So does that make you want to revise your team?
A little bit.
I mean, makes you think. I mean, obviously that's just one draw. Yeah. All right, so I think that's
what it makes me want to have Wilco, because he's on the other side of the draw from John, and he's been hot on the Australian leg.
Except for last event.
That's right. And I bet against him last event. But he won last year at Bells.
Did he?
Yeah, he won Bells last year. So you got to give it a little nod.
No, like I said, that Bells definitely, in some cases, favors goofy footers. It's really just methodical, and someone can just go to the bottom and then set up. So yeah, that plays. But I think if you look at the statistics, frontsiders have won there maybe I think 60% of the time versus goofy footers 40% of the time.
Right.
Not perfect, but I know it's around. It's around those odds.
Well, it'll probably be John.
Probably going to be John. Okay, is there anything else we want to talk about? You want to talk about your women's team at all, or?
I haven't put it together yet. I pretty much just rolling with what I had last event, and that's kind of how I do women's. There's a smaller pool, as people might know if you follow it, and I pick my girls and I stick with them.
I did that a lot last year, and now this year, because WSL bracket lets you kind of really break down the heat draws a little bit more. I'm kind of paying more attention to the women's than I did last year for sure. And I'll just for anybody playing the women's, when I run the heat draws right now, Sally and Steph Gilmore face off a lot, almost every time I run a heat draw. So that's kind of something to look into. And again, you want to try to pick those guys on the opposite side of the draw. Tyler Wright ends up being on the opposite side of the draw of Stephanie, Sally, and Carissa almost every single time. But I can't afford Tyler at this point, so she's not on my team. But I still have, I have Courtney, I have Sally, I've got Steph, I've got Carissa, and I have Lakey. So outside of having Tyler, I think I've got the freaking best squad in the world right now.
Yeah.
Lakey's just got to come through. Come on, Lakey.
Came up short. I beat you last event.
Yeah, because I think you had Coco Ho.
I had the Coco Ho.
And Coco Ho beat Lakey, right? Or beat someone. She beat someone.
Yeah, I forget who she beat.
Sage is looking strong too. I think
Sage is great. I usually always have Sage.
I think Sage has got more like competitive spirit this year.
Yeah.
She's looking really fit.
Yep.
So is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up the podcast?
No, I think that's about it. I think we kind of covered as much as we can for now. The event's going to run, so we're kind of just hitting it on the fly, and hopefully putting together the best team we can in a tight window.
Yep. You guys, good luck. Thanks again for subscribing to Strand FPV Films. And his podcast is
Fantasy Dark Horse, and you can find that on all the basic ones, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. Yep.
And if you guys search Rogue Surfer Cam Films on YouTube. That's my other YouTube channel that has most of my videos from just surfing around Ventura, including GoPro and drone videos. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. Peace.
Yeah.